Hi everybody, we are going to learn today how to use the selectors. Okay, we've talked about those classes and that kind of stuff in class, but we must take a look to this part, which is at the beginning of the CSS tutorial. There was an introduction, the syntax, and before how to, here appear CSS selectors. So we are going to read carefully and to see the different examples in this part, in this chapter of this tutorial, and we will see one by one some of the features related to the classes. Okay, CSS selectors, here we are. CSS selectors are used to find or select the HTML elements that you want to style. We can divide CSS selectors into 5 categories: simple selectors, combinator selectors, pseudo class selectors, pseudo element selectors. Okay, very well. We have different kinds of them. The CSS element selector. First of all, the HTML elements based on the element name. Here, all P elements on the page will be center aligned with a red text color. So if we don't put anything else, we are saying that every element, for example here, paragraph element will be center and color red. Okay, everything. We define it once and we have 3 different paragraphs, and all the paragraphs are in the middle and red. Okay, centered. What else? Sorry, I have to close those tabs. CSS ID selector. The ID selector uses the ID attribute of the HTML element to select a specific element. The ID of an element is unique within a page, so the ID selector is used to select one unique element. Okay, I think that this is not very useful for me. Well, I prefer another kind of, but well, you can see that. For example, para 1. So the paragraph, this paragraph, for example, we have 2 different paragraphs, and you say para 1. You are specifying some features for one specific paragraph. If the paragraph has this ID defined here, it will apply this style. So this one is a hello world with red, and the other one is without any specific style. It's the default style. So this is a way to do it. I prefer using classes. Okay. What else? The CSS class selector. I like this one. The class selector selects HTML elements with a specific class attribute. To select elements with a specific class, write a period dot character followed by the class name. For example, all HTML elements with class center will be red and center aligned. Try yourself. This is the class dot center. So if the paragraph, if the heading or the paragraph, it doesn't matter what are there, if they are center class, they put all red and with red and centered. If we copy this and we don't say it's class center, it will be the default style. Okay, so I prefer classes than IDs, but well, it's optional. You can also specify that only a specific HTML elements should be affected by a class. So I can say that center will affect to paragraphs but not to headings. So for that, instead of just putting the dot, the period and center, I say which selector period center, the class, will be affected by this style. So this is very useful. I can create different kinds of paragraphs. For example, well, I will close these ones. Yeah, I don't know why it's not opening up. Okay, I will put it here. Maybe it's not working well. W3 schools at this moment. Okay, this one here. Okay, this heading will not be affected. This paragraph will be read and center aligned. Why? P center. It doesn't matter if we say that H1 is class center. This center class is just prepared for paragraphs. You can create different paragraphs. You can say that the first paragraph, P center 1, will be red, but maybe P dot center 2 will be text align center, but the color will be blue. So I can use another one and create pre-class center 1, center 2 will be blue and center line. We'll see it. This is what happened. We can define as many classes as we want. So we can apply to each paragraph a different style. So this is when you want to create different different paragraphs or headings or whatever using the classes. We have to define just very carefully what kind of paragraphs will be created in a web page and then apply to each paragraph its style. So this is very clear. And we can also here create dot center just to review a little bit. Dot center. This is for all the elements that the text align is center. So if we apply this, the first element is also affected because this class is not just for paragraph. These two are just for paragraphs, but this one is for everything. I can, of course, copy this and use just center, and this will be affected by just the first element. Okay, I can center and center 2. Also, I can apply 2 different classes. So this and this, both of them are applied and it works well. Okay, because one has more specifications than the other, but they both are can be combined well. I can't say in one to go to the left and the other one to go to the right, because it will be a mess and it will make a little conflict. But well, I don't want to I want to spend a lot of time talking about this, so I think that with selectors it's enough. So here the universal selector, you have more elements, H1, H2. Here you see the examples I have previously mentioned, and we have lots of other elements. Yes, here also you can group some selectors and create and to see how some elements will be. Okay, so please read this, and if you don't understand a thing, try to ask us or your teachers, and I think that this video will be useful for you. So see you in the next video.